Believe it or not, I still think it's San Antonio because they're playing on their home turf. I think they win tonight. I think this is a 7-game series right now. I think that both teams hold serve on their home court over the last 2 games, and then a Game 7 back in San Antonio. I think Kawhi Leonard will have a big night. I think something will happen to LaMarcus Aldridge, and he'll be reminded that he's actually supposed to be a star and start acting like one. This dude has the skills. I don't know why he looks so soft out there, so relatively pedestrian. I don't know if it's a health issue in regards to his heart, or is it another reason regarding his heart, figuratively speaking, if you understand what I'm saying, as opposed to it being a health issue. But there is something flagrantly missing from LaMarcus Aldridge. It's supposed to be him and Kawhi Leonard, not just Kawhi Leonard. LaMarcus Aldridge, and Pau Gasol to a lesser degree needs to show up as well. He's got the size. He can take advantage of them with his height and his perimeter shooting ability, but it's got to be LaMarcus Aldridge that shows up. I think they do it tonight. I think they go up 3-2.
Can you pat me on the back? Thank you. Thank you very much.
I thought
oh, that's good. Thank you.
I got it.
Yes, I need a pat on the back, Stephen A., because that's what I said. This is a 7-game series, but the Spurs should win. The Memphis Grizzlies had a chance for an upset. I thought they were a live dog going in. I thought they would extend the series. They already have. It's going at least 6. But the Spurs should win. They're the better regular season team. They both play in the Western Conference. You see the Spurs have a lot more wins. They are the better team. As Fizdale, no one's going to rook you, but Popovich is the guy. They also have more talent, and they're more experienced, and they have home court. So they should win, but this is a hell of a series.
Are you surprised that the series is this close?
No,
I mean, I know you
going
said
in, yeah. No, I don't, because the Spurs' interior defense, there's no Tim Duncan there. Gasol and Aldridge can do their thing offensively, but defensively, they're vulnerable to a team like Memphis, who has multiple bigs who can live in the paint and hurt you there. That's a problem. Well, if Tony Parker's getting dribble penetration, Danny Green's hitting shots, and you're right, LaMarcus Aldridge isn't passive, that's one thing. But if those things aren't happening, the Spurs are ordinary.
Well, listen, here's the deal. I didn't believe it would go 7 games, A, because Mike Conley Jr., I never expected him to play the way that he's played the last 2 games, and B, Tony Allen is gone. And so Tony Allen having been out and not having that defensive stalwart on your roster at that particular, now I'm talking about available rather, at that particular point, that was why. The Memphis Grizzlies, if completely healthy, can take anyone outside of Golden State 7 games because they play.
What? You mocked my prediction.
I did.
But he just explained why. No Tony Allen.
Not only did I explain why, but I admitted yesterday that you deserved props for it, which is the first time that's happened since July 25th.
You want to admit that I deserve props for my Doc Rivers point? What makes him a great coach makes him a bad GM?
Hold on. Out of control.
I gave you props yesterday.
Thank you.
You deserved it for once in your life. And outside of that, you might need to learn and do the same on a regular basis when I teach you this game. The fact of the matter is Tony Allen being out. Tony Allen being out. No, you actually really don't, because you try to gloss over it. But it's okay. It's all right. You have to be Maximilian. I understand. But in the end, the Grizzlies, Spurs should be 7 games. But it's more of an indictment against LaMarcus Aldridge. He has not been what I expected him to be.
No. Stephen A., how much are they missing Tim Duncan?
Well, they're missing him a lot because LaMarcus Aldridge has come up short. Well, I mean, listen, you're succeeding the greatness of Tim Duncan. You got to get... Max, remember this? Last year, even with the awful year that Tim Duncan was having because age and attrition had kicked in, Popovich had Tim Duncan in that Game 6 against Oklahoma City in the Western Conference semifinals because LaMarcus Aldridge, one of his disappearing acts. He had to leave Tim Duncan up in there.
It has always been both ends of the floor. When Duncan came into the league, the ad campaign based around him was he's blocking everyone's shot. Remember, someone's trying to throw a piece of garbage in the trash,
that was good.
And Duncan blocks it. That he was as great defensively as he was offensively, and he allowed the Spurs to do a lot of things defensively that they can't do now because he's not there.
Fitting that LaMarcus scores on a fall-away jumper in the lane, and LaMarcus Aldridge, all 6'11", 7 feet of him, barely has a hand up to defend the guy. Very fitting.
Right.
Very fitting.
It's all on Kawhi.
All right, we asked you guys on Twitter, should the Lakers trade for Paul George? And you said 60% said yes.
They know.
Well, that's a vote saying, basically they read it like this: is Paul George a good player? Well, yeah, of course. But you just sign him. A guy like Paul George, you sign him. You don't trade for him. You sign him when he's a free agent.
Oh, Lord.
Would you like to add anything?
No, Max needs prayer. Max needs prayer. That's all he needs to say. He needs prayer.
Max actually doesn't need prayer because, unfortunately, there's still people that have an issue with interracial relationships, someone in the sports world.
Yes.
And Serena Williams taking the brunt of this, but luckily we have Max Kellerman to handle the situation, I'm being told.
Yeah, in my final take right now.
In your final take, and we're going to get into that.
Let's hear it.
Right now.
I want to hear it.
You are so disrespectful.
He is going to fall off a cliff.
Shut the hell
Oh, that's not even close to my best.
They're wrong. And I don't give a damn that they agree with me or not.
Ilie Nastase was a star tennis player from Romania in the 1970s. What made him famous was his legendary temper and foul language and bad behavior in a sport known for its manners and propriety. Ilie Nastase was politically incorrect before politically incorrect was a thing. Nastase's back in the sports headlines this week. Several generations later, his big mouth is still fully dysfunctional, but it lacks whatever charm it may have once had. Nastase was quoted making a racially insensitive crack about the biracial baby which Serena Williams and her fiancé are expecting. Nastase compared the baby to chocolate milk. Politically incorrect, huh? Brash as ever, isn't he? He's just saying what other people are thinking, right? No, no, and hell no. Serena, the greatest female tennis player ever, responded at length with a statement. She doesn't need anyone to fight her battles for her, I know. That said, please allow me. Ilie Nastase should have left Serena alone, not because she's the greatest of all time or world famous, but because hundreds of millions of people respect and admire her. Nastase should have kept his mouth shut because Serena Williams and her fiancé are human beings, period. People deserve decency and empathy and respect. We don't otherize one another based on nature's distribution of DNA, and we sure as hell don't objectify or categorize or slur each other's children. A lot of people get a lot of mileage out of being politically incorrect. They credit themselves for being brave and strong, for saying what they really think, and that's fine if we're talking about some unpopular policy position or wearing, a brown belt with black shoes or something like that. But when it comes to the treatment of our fellow human beings, tennis stars or otherwise, there's no political correctness. There's just right and wrong. And until Ilie Nastase has an adult understanding of the world, he should shut up. Serena, the rest of us have your back.
Max, appreciate you. And if you want to see more of our Final Take segments, head over to our Twitter and Facebook pages so you can leave your take. And this just in, gentlemen, Drake will host the NBA Awards show on June 26th. I like that. There's a connection between Drake and Serena, actually. So it just all fits together. How do you feel about that? You like Drake hosting the awards, Stephen A?
Well, I like Drake hosting anything. I think he's hilarious and very talented.
I'm with it. Tomorrow we will react to the NBA playoffs, so much more. Thank you so much for hanging out. Stephen A, have a lovely day. Max Kellerman, we'll see you in the morning.